his comment?
Did anybody
That's the idea. We're supposed to have Blake on last week.
Rosa, you're supposed to have your phone out. Is dead.
Listen, I'm giving up on it.
Okay. All right, what do we got?
All right, we're going to move on to the Comrade Kamala Harris. She said at the big debate the other day, she made this comment that America doesn't want to witness a food fight. They want to know how we're going to put food on their tables. Now, I made a comment on Facebook here last week that these two utterances show Kamala Harris to be wrong and wronger, totally out of touch with the American mentality. America loves a fight and watches NASCAR mostly for the crashes. Now,
what does she know about ratings? The Republican and Democrat ratings from last cycle all got better ratings in this debate. So obviously people do want to see a food fight.
It's human nature to want to see conflict. Every book, every movie, every entertainment program you can watch, even American Ninja Warrior has conflict. It's the combatant against the game. And so conflict is what we watch for entertainment. Martha decided to chime in, and I got some questions that Martha got from me that she helped me come up with some questions. So,
who's Martha?
Martha's some girl that decided to comment against my America doesn't want to witness a food
one of those people.
This is the social media.
Martha on the internet. Hello, Martha.
Martha knows who she is.
Which link did she come in on YouTube?
Martha, I took the time, because I respect Martha, to number her comments line by line. And there were about 21 of them. And what I found out just in quick notice was that Martha 14 would invalidate 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way through 17. But let's get to the questions here. We will get to some of the verbiage that Martha used that is some of the bad language that people commit to. Poor dog.
Pupper.
Martha, shut up!
Stop doing that to the dog.
So now, she says that Americans, she says she has to agree with me on one thing, that America does have a sickness, she calls it, that has ailed since its inception, its need for a fight. So I'm asking you, David, do you believe that fighting is a deviant and or perverse human behavior?
You don't have a story with that comment.
I would say she definitely disagrees with Kamala Harris, because she just right there said that it's a deviant behavior that we do want to fight.
That's that word deviant twice. Blake Barber has a problem with that.
Let's stay with the mathematics. Deviant is a mathematical term. It's not a behavior.
But it's not
a
deviant.
derogatory.
No,
it connotes a pejorative, and you could hurt someone's feelings if you don't tread lightly.
Especially if they're on the left.
Here's what I want to get to, the deeper mentality of the left. Because who I'm arguing with here is Martha. She thinks she's rational and justified and balanced, and later she virtue signals. But she thinks that fighting is a sickness.
Well, what about the Antifa folks in Portland?
Well, again, I'm not going to hold Martha to promoting anything.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you guys, the concept of combat.
Well, what I think is happening here with Harris is she's trying to come across as the authority. You kids simmer down now. You kids behave. Quit your fighting. Kind of like the mother. To me,
so she's fighting.
Well, yeah, but to me she came across as bitchy. Is to be quite honest with you.
We know she's incorrect when she says America doesn't want to see a food fight. America loves.
Yeah.
Human beings love a food fight. The bigger issue with her comment is the biggest problem.
Yeah.
They're waiting for us to know how we're going to put food on their table. That's total communism.
Yeah.
America is not waiting to see Kamala Harris deliver dinner. It's just
have
not
food?
what's going on.
Listen, government invented food, Tom. Get it right. Food did not exist
So
before
they
government.
We had no medicine until we had the FDA.
Didn't happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say that she's right, that Martha's correct, and that fighting is a deviant or perverse human behavior.
Well, they should celebrate it in Pride Month or something then.
Dang it, you're just stealing my thunder. Doing everything I can to set this up.
Don't share your notes before the show, Tom. Don't do it. Don't do it.
So here's the question, David. Should society discriminate against a sector of humanity defined as perverse and or animalistic?
Only if you disagree with that activity. then you can discriminate. If you agree with it, you should celebrate it.
So Martha thinks
Right.
that fighting is a sickness, and I'm asking, is it proper to fight against sicknesses by discriminating against those people in the society that have that sickness?
Well, we already do.
Name one.
Okay, it's called criminals.
You've been looking at my notes again.
You got it right there.
Because quite frankly, fighting is not in and of itself wrong, because to fight for truth, to fight for justice, to fight for
Freedom.
for freedom for
What
your
if it's
fellow
a
man.
consensual battle like you have
No,
to say?
yeah.
Well, no.
Shouldn't be
The
allowed.
idea is it's like the libertarians talk about the non-aggression principle.
Right.
Okay, that is actually the law. Did you know that?
No.
The non-aggression principle basically says that you don't have the right to aggress against and use force against somebody else in violation of their rights, but you do have the right to use aggression to protect your own rights.
Right.
Okay.
This would apply to citizens, not to government officials.
Well, everybody, including government officials,
cops are a government official,
well, they're also citizens, so they have the right, but we all possess the rights. They then have powers that we have delegated to them to specifically act in our stead, so that there is a disinterested third
Okay,
party.
so they're acting as one of us in that capacity.
Correct.
Not
So
as
now-
an official of the government.
But the non-aggression principle still applies. It is the law. It is what is codified in the Constitution, and especially through the Bill of Rights. So
Yeah.
in a sense, she's got a point, but it's perverted in the sense that should we discriminate, and that means getting into who's going to decide against what we will discriminate.
What's an
and how we're
aggression?
going to-
Again,
Ask
we have to
20,
decide
ask
what is
20 different
perverse.
people how many aggressions. This is a classic sociological experiment. Watch an episode of Looney Tunes. Ask a number of people how many aggressions were there.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you.
You get 20, 30 different answers.
Yeah, the moderators of the debate, NBC, both nights, lost the moral authority to lead. They did not rein in the people. They egged on the
They
fight.
couldn't, yeah.
You know,
Oh,
and
right.
that's
Well, they're
part
all on
of
the
the
same
problem.
team. That's hard.
Well, yeah.
Everybody
but-
loved each other.
And yeah,
Everybody there.
except if you're an Oriental guy who gets, your mic gets cut off. What's the guy's name?
Really, I didn't even
What is that?
watch it, but
What was
I didn't know
that?
it was Mike. Was it
What is
Yang?
diversity
Yang,
when you
yeah.
got a yang?
oh,
with no-
yang, yeah.
How can you
right.
run a yang with no yang and call it diversity?
No. How can you do yang without a wang?
Oh,
Because
jeez.
remember, that's what his
There
whole
we
thing.
I love Yang.
Oh my God.
Yeah, okay, let
Yangs.
me bring it back with something Rush Limbaugh said back in '91 when the unified troops were liberating Kuwait City. He said, when you saw the videotape of the first pool network people in with their satellites, and they see the Kuwaiti guy out in the street, he did not yell, "I have peace! I have peace!" No, he said, "I'm free! Thank you, George Bush! I'm free!" It's freedom that they long for, not peace. We've got debates here because people are passionate about ideas, about what they believe in on the left and the right, and those things ought to be encouraged.
we
Conflict
need
is
to
a
fight for it.
refiner. Conflict is a refiner. You look at
Yes.
it as a terrible cost in
Yes.
war, but you look at the rapid pace of technological development. We got atomic energy from the last World War. We got jet flight. We got plastics and penicillin. And maybe that doesn't have anything to do with the war necessarily, but it is a high level of human development.
Yeah.
Because it is total competition. There is no runner-up is dead. So you
know
get
what?
some really great production out of
Sometimes you're watching an NHL hockey game, and eventually that ref in the third period says, "You know what? I'll let these guys just haul off and slug for a while. They got to get it out of."
And that's the best part. An ideal. This is how we do it, right? This is how we do it in
But they
business.
end up in the penalty box for
Well,
it
this
too.
is the
but-
problem with socialism: is they deny the reality of the conflict. They pretend we're all going to
Yes.
have this utopia.
Well,
where the
they
American
lie about it
exceptionalism.
because they are actually the Communist Manifesto was specifically to create the conflict.
Yeah.
that's
to light the fire of communism. Yeah.
yes.
And
well,
then once they take over, then conflict is beneath us, right? Because we're all supposed to get
well, they
along.
say that while they're
You guys
murdering
can fight.
people.
Exactly.
They throw the rock, you guys can fight.
Right.
If they've achieved the perfect system, what is there to fight about?
Exactly.
Yeah, but we've got, you see this in our public schools, at least Tulsa schools. If somebody hauls off and slugs you, you get suspended for getting slugged. Especially if you so much as push the person away, you are now part of that fight.
That unfortunately, yes. They do it wrong,
What you do to make
but
them hate
but
you.
generally it's always the second guy who gets caught. The first, the noise
Watching
comes, the
NFL.
teacher
Yeah,
turns,
that's
and the
where
only
I
one
was
the
going.
teacher sees is the
Yeah,
second guy who's
yeah.
actually just trying to get out from
Yeah.
under the.
So if you're
the
really
bully.
smart, you pick the fight.
If
You
only,
walk up to somebody as you go past them, you fling yourself back in the locker and say, "What's wrong with you? Leave me alone."
if only someone could make our schools like maximum security prisons with
Yeah.
360-degree camera
Right.
coverage, then we could figure out what really happened.
I think that's what they're doing.